excited. I'm not nervous.
It's very, very beautiful, and people here are so kind.
In America, I feel so free in that way, and I want to talk to people.
Other than one, none of them have been in the US before. This is a first time, and it's a very different media landscape.
We was a cameraman, we was a journalist, we was a correspondent.
It is a great opportunity to immerse in American culture, to learn more about American media.
They really understand how their media system is closed in a lot of ways, that certain things are allowed. They get the difference between what their media world is like and the one that they're seeing here.
It's almost not enough to write anymore. Writing is such a fundamental skill, but can we build on that with other skills? And for those of you who don't have video production, you have cameras. We are gonna do this. So I think our interest is really like highlighting, learning from them how things work back where they're from, giving some perspective on how things are there, and then kind of looking ahead and thinking, okay, well, what is the role journalism can serve in our society, theirs, and kind of help them think through their work.
The Vermont portion of the program was set up to give them media literacy within this market. So in terms of field trips, we went to a television station, we went to a newspaper, the Burlington Free Press, and we also went to a radio station, Vermont Public Radio, and to interact with professionals from all those places.
The journalists that came to the Free Press for a visit seemed like they had really been paying attention to what's going on in the media, and in particular to the changes in our business that have to do with credibility, that have to do with social media, the disruptions that we're experiencing.
I've seen reporters kind of speed through it, and before you know it, the interview's done and the subject really doesn't have a good comprehension of, oh, a newspaper, oh, that's great, but it's also going to be on a website, and everyone on the planet can get to it.
Yeah.
So they should know that.
It's hard already for people, if you don't have an opioid addict in your family, or if you don't know it firsthand, it's hard to sympathize and rationalize why someone is making all the choices that they're making. So with something like very sensitive like this, I think we felt like it was important to build from the very start exactly how she started and how it kind of went downhill.
It makes me hopeful that they're aware, that they're paying attention, and they're curious about what we're doing to try to address those issues, because I think that's really the only way we're going to find a way forward.
All the while they're getting sort of an academic base with JD about what U.S. media is like across the board and doing sort of a deep dive about what the American media landscape is.
So this week you're here in beautiful Champlain College. You're looking out on Lake Champlain and our beautiful campus. But what do you want? What are some things that are important to you?
I would like to get to know your opinion on how it would change the future and what we should, for what we should be ready as a professional journalist and as people who work in this sphere, because there are a lot of different things happen.
I would really like to get to know your American experience in journalism and as well share our Russian experience.
Good. We want you to have that personal voice and bring in all of these thoughts, these ideas, these theoretical frameworks that you bring forward. How does that inform the work you're going to create? How are you accountable to yourself as a journalist?
And with both of us, they were doing practice. They were shooting, writing, and editing two different stories. One, a news piece they shot at the farmer's market, and another, a reflection piece that they were able to create, sort of a video essay.
I wanted to focus on how to be in the farmer in 21st century, surrounded by the new high-tech technology, and yeah, when it's easier to buy the vegetables and everything in the supermarket instead of growing it themselves. So I would like to think about the motivation, what's motivate people to grow themselves, to spend their lives in the countryside growing it.
I want to ask people about their healthy lifestyle and about organic food in general. Do they maintain healthy lifestyle? Which food they prefer to choose there? Why they choose exactly farmer markets and not supermarkets?
They've chosen what they want to do. Some of them right now are covering what is a farmer's market. It's not a very common concept in Russia. Some of them are looking at feminist issues. Some of them are looking at transportation, bicycles. It's their choice, but we told them, you'll be out, you'll be meeting all sorts of different people. Go up with your cameras and make the story.
I'm preparing a story about stereotypes among Russians. They think that Americans are obsessed with junk food. And I ask visitors and vendors if they agree or disagree with this statement.
Everything in America is about individual freedom. So all the women I talked to were really powerful. They were really awesome, actually. I had a great pleasure talking to them. We actually met a lot of women who work in the media field, so it was interesting for me to talk to professional journalists, to women who hold senior positions, and they're very open, so they're always ready to share their experience with me.
They were very inventive, sometimes very playful, both in writing and with technology. Buzz in your ear when you put it in? Oh, fantastic. We're going to learn about that. Okay. They were not afraid to experiment.
Oksana, you're taking all day. Move it.
Zoom in and explore America with me.
Not that, I'd have to double check, but it's higher than 40. It's a good deal higher.
Population is about 650,000 people. Let's ask what makes it ahead. Do citizens...
And after the screening of our project, it feels like we are superheroes. I never believed we could do that. Like, go to a farmer's market, interview people, foreigners. I don't know how to express it even.
But now I feel like I developed my skills, and now I can just go to my channel where I work and say, hey, I'll do it myself.
Probably it was my first time interviewing people, because I'm not really a journalist. I study media, so it's a bit different. So I don't really have to take interviews, but that was an experience.
I think what I wanted to pass on to the Russian students is sort of similar to what I pass on to my American students, which is the ability to tell good stories for different kinds of purposes, for journalism, for promotional purposes, just good storytelling that's done with technology.
We've got a lot of very small medias, but they make very cool content. They're very inspiring.
In America, it's more concentrated on local news than in Russia, and I find it fascinating because sometimes I think that Russia ends somewhere within the Moscow, and that's not right to say so, because Russia is huge, and we don't really know a lot about the territory that is not Moscow. Yeah.
I think a lot of it, intercultural communication is a big thing, learning from each other and kind of helping them develop a voice as a journalist, whatever that may look like to them.
I was surprised to hear that people are not against Russia here, and everyone is so open-minded, courteous.
It was my dream for all my life, and now I'm in the United States.
It's a great experience for me to learn something from them and to bring this to Russia so I can use it in my future career, in my future, my future life, actually.
To know that over there is a desire to kind of express social issues, these cultural issues, and it's just wonderful to see such a young group of up-and-coming journalists in that country looking to kind of find their voice and to speak out. So I guess it's also just given me a lot of hope. A lot of reports on Russia are pretty negative, and this has just left me with a completely different take on it.
feeling very grateful that these programs exist, because we live in such times when media really navigates our minds in this world, and so such programs really can overcome stereotypes and just to think out of the box, like to learn it from the first hand that things not white and black, there are some in between.